Hello and welcome to another edition of Haunted the Truth, and we are going to have a little chit chat, and it is about
the stigma of the paranormal.
We're not going to sort of start bitching, so if you've started watching this thinking, oh, you're going to bitch about me, forget it, you may as well turn off now.
No, we're not mentioning
No names.
It's just
not directed at anyone at all. In particular, this is just our opinions.
So don't be sat there going, oh, they're definitely talking about me there, and then give me a load of shit later on, because I'm not. I think, I think anyway, getting into things as a YouTuber in general, as a new user, is very difficult, but it's even more difficult when it's a niche like the paranormal, and it's taken us an awful long time to get to where we've gotten to. We've done it all, pretty much all ourselves, apart from, certain people that have supported us along the way, and just very grateful for that. But there's channels out there which are being hit left, right and centre, aren't they, by issues.
It's a shitstorm. That's what it is. It's a shitstorm, and it's not fair, especially on the newcomers coming into the field, because of how much fake there is out there at the minute. There's only one conclusion, that everyone else's footage is also fake.
If they have things happening which are not explained easily, it's automatically assumed as, well, that can't be real. And there are individuals out there which are over trying to explain things without any sufficient evidence for their explanation of said thing that's going on. So let's say, for example, I don't know, something over there opened by itself, they would come up with some wild explanation for it because they're trying to not be in the limelight for scrutinization in any way or form, when it's perfectly acceptable to say, we don't know.
I believe it's just the amount of shit that's on social media that people post up. The amount of TikTok videos, I see them all the time of just there's a ghost, and it's literally the most terrible edit of CGI ever.
Would you believe people buy into it?
But people buy into it, then that's what gets the view. So because there's so much fake online now, it's hard to sift through and find the real. Because there's a lot of trolls online now. It's hard to stand out and be because literally the stuff that we've done, we're not trolls, we're not stooges, we're not actors. It's hard to fit into that category, because when we come up on someone's For You page, they're going to be scrolling through going fake, done, yeah, blah, blah, blah. They just go through it and they don't even acknowledge it. That's what's hard about it.
It's really part of the stigma of it is we're all looking for something real. And that's the reason why we are into the paranormal, because we're trying to find the answers, but the answers are always being shut down. Or, we must keep a very open-minded and skeptical view on things, because that's how we push forward. But nothing's ever breaking through, so therefore we're going, okay, is this a total flipping waste of time? But we know it's not, because we've seen things and witnessed things and felt things ourselves.
Absolutely.
But getting that across to other people is
it's impossible. Because what we were discussing this before. When I first started doing this, I'm sorry if I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. When I first joined Haunted the Truth, I can admit I came on as a skeptic. There was that one time, it was the three of us. It was me, Chris and Mark. We were at Snuff Mills. Me and Chris were sat there. I remember we were sat on a blue tarp. I was smoking a Marlboro Light. I even remember what I was smoking back then. And we were talking about random shit. We were talking about, I think we might as well have been talking about our jobs.
We lost a bit of hope in the paranormal.
We lost a bit of hope. And we were both looking at each other, right? And I remember looking at Chris like that. And at the same time, we both heard voices in our ears. Now, I completely switched then, right? Because I thought, It's definitely not Chris, definitely not Mark, because you're the end of the bridge. It was bizarre. I can't even explain what it was. It was whispering around us. And the problem is, I went home and I told my missus, and I told a couple of my friends, and their reaction was, cool. And I'm like, but the problem is, do you hear what I'm saying? Like, I was at, if you say it like this, I'm in a dark forest at night, and I hear voices. I can understand how that could be.
How many mushrooms do you want?
How many mushrooms? Cool, man. Nice one. Like, it's like, I can understand why people go crazy.
What were you dropping?
Yeah, what was I dropping? We weren't dropping anything, I think.
Was it a Marlboro Light?
Yeah, maybe what was in that Marlboro Light? But all I'm saying is, it's like, but you can say about anything. It's like, it's the same thing with the stones being chucked. It's the same thing about the cord being moved, the light switch being moved. There's so many things that we've experienced that we can't explain. But when you talk to people who, in my opinion, I'm not like we said, we're not going to mention Nick, and this is not Nick. This is a generalization thing. It's like in that bubble of people who can't get out of that bubble, who think, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm just on a tangent here, but they don't understand that.
How do you go about proving these things then, Mark?
Do you know what? I was speaking to some people yesterday at this place I went to, and I met this lady there, and she had some stories, and she was telling her stories to these other two people who clearly never experienced anything like this, and they were just listening. And I said to them, you know, most people, when they will see this, they will instantly say, oh, that can't be real, this can't be real, it's got to be fake. But that concept is such a, like, I can't remember what he said. He even said it, one of the people, he just said, well, that's a lazy response to it. He goes, because from what you've been saying to me, what you want is a constructed response. So something like, I don't know, or have you ever considered that it could be the theory of blah, 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 which I've never thought of before. Yeah. But instead, they just go for the lazy response of, well, it must be fake because their brains cannot physically comprehend that it's possible.
We've never asked for that.
That it's not possible.
So we've never asked for that.
We've never asked, what do you think of our fish? Do you think it's fake or real? We've asked for constructive feedback. You know, what could this possibly be? You know, we've tried to network. It's very difficult because of different opinions, and then, you know, people falling out with each other over X, Y, and Z. And then how do you mend bridges? How do you do that?
Well, the thing is, right, people taking the people taking the misconception of when I come forward to people that might be, you know, skeptics or scientists or video cinema photographers, etc., that they think that I'm going, look at my footage, look at how crazy this is, it's real, check it out, what do you think? That's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is going, look at this, what do you think there could be something that I've missed yet, that I'm overlooking? Yeah. Especially if they're educated within certain fields. But, you know, some people will still go, I don't know what it is, it's fake. And like I said, it's just it's not what I'm looking for.
To their opinions, and there is lots of different belief systems. Dan's got his own different belief system, you know, and the stigma of the paranormal really affects him. It does, it affects him and his belief, you know, and for anyone new that's coming into the field, they are going to have problems. We've already had groups come to us that's new and ask for our help. We've had that. There's a new channel out there called, what are they called? The Bristol Paranormal UK or something. What are they called?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a new group out there who've come for us and they've asked advice. How do we get known? How do we integrate? How do we network? How do we make YouTube work? And like, we don't even know the answers to these things really, because networking is very difficult. It is very difficult.
It's very difficult in any field, isn't
it? It is, yeah.
And well, you know, I think it's easier for a group of people to get together which all have the same ideology of ripping something apart. And you know, there's people out there going, oh yeah, they're all a cult. It's not a cult, it's just they all have something in common and they have a common goal. Albeit some of them go a little bit further than others, but you know, everyone's entitled to however they want to portray such a thing. And if it works for them, it works for them. It's so hard,
so
especially when all the big people, even the big people, are being hit now. Like, you know, you recently find out that most haunted are faked, and there's a lot of sufficient evidence to suggest that they have, and that.
It's just a point.
Okay.
Soon enough, nothing will be trusted. There are a select few teams out there that are trusted based off word of mouth and their hard work they put into it, and the old idea of, okay, so these guys must be real because they've not captured much activity at all.
Or they've debunked stuff, which, in my opinion, some of the debunks that they say are far-fetched, and the only reason they're debunking it is because they don't want that stigma.
That could be a narrative that they play. Don't catch nothing, because then people will trust you. So if you do catch something, maybe you're going to be a bit scared to put it out there to people, just in case of being chattel.
I will put it out there
Yeah, I
regardless.
guess so.
Basically saying what you're saying there is the 6 hours or 5-6 hours that we sit there getting nothing. We should put all that into an episode instead of the stuff we do catch.
Essentially,
yeah.
Essentially,
So we get more
Yeah.
beliefs and more trust. And
I mean, it is true. We do sit there for
It's
hours.
hours and hours to go through to capture.
makes no
It's
sense.
basically-
Like I used to, you've never sat there through.
He's the one that sits through it, or he's the one that sits through. No, but what I'm on about by that.
on
No,
the
what I
investigation,
mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
on
yeah.
an investigation, we're out there for 5-6 hours, and then for the first 3 hours we get nothing. It's like
Put that in instead.
you've got to remember, like, what you're seeing is effectively the highlights of the match. You're not seeing the match. You're seeing the highlights. Yeah, it's
You've got people that are sitting there going,
moronic
oh, do you know, that was a good 5 hours of fuck all.
exactly.
I'll subscribe.
We've got to take everything in our stride. We've got to understand as well that even in this whole massive field and this community, there are little communities of different beliefs and everything, and different reasons for why they're in the paranormal, and you have to respect that there are feelings and emotions. People are coming into the field and they're capturing stuff and they're being targeted. Like,
No one
unless
has
you've
a
got,
right to attack.
unless you've got 100% proof of the debunk, should you be debunking it?
A lot of it,
That's the
what I see
question.
is clutching at straws from a lot of what I viewed, and not all of them, by the way, not all of them. There's some debunkers out there that are really nice, but there's some out there that just clutch so many thin straws. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not really
I'm
fair,
gonna
is it?
say that if somebody has debunked somebody and it's literally true and they've got the evidence to support it, and then that individual gives them shit for
They've
it,
got no
then
justifiable
there's
claims.
nothing. Yeah, then they are in the wrong. Not the debunker, the individual is in the
That's
wrong
right,
for
yeah.
doing that.
That's the problem in the debunking community in a minute, is they are debunking channels that are being caught out left, right and centre, and then they're being attacked by a community that are thick as shit. You can't educate pork, it's impossible. So they're in a situation where they go, right, okay, do I do it anymore? Is it worth the hassle? And it's stressful.
Well,
It's
what you
really
mean, like, if
stressful.
that might not be necessarily, that's probably more so the followers of said channel.
Yeah, it's not.
But
the
then that's
channels,
like if you start digging at and trying to tear apart flat earthers, and I'm not even gonna say, no, I am gonna say it, it's fucking not flat. But if you start digging at them, right,
yeah.
and you make it like full on in a video, you're gonna get tens of thousands of people pop up and give you shit. It's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah, of course,
And
of course.
I'm going to say that if the debunkers are doing this and they don't like what they're getting back, then don't go at these certain people, or don't do it at all. If you can't take the heat,
But that's the point.
Then
The point
don't
is
do
the
it.
majority of the time they can't take.
I think it was a shock for these people though, because the debunking community hasn't been around as strong as what it is now.
No.
So they've came in quite strong. They've grew pretty quick. We've supported it. We have, and like people might disagree.
Oh, I mean,
with that.
I'm not,
Some
but,
people
yeah,
will
but
disagree with that, but
effectively, technically, like, I know what you mean, because technically, the whole premise of Haunted the Truth effectively was a debunking show.
Yeah, of course.
From what I've remembered, it was, we went going, we're going to investigate if there's any spirits here. There's no spirits here. Debunked. but for some reason that's what it started as. But
it's
then
fundamentally meant to be.
Formed into what we are
And
now.
this pissed me off on another level that I couldn't do that.
But this is the same thing, and that's why I came on, because obviously originally I was the skeptic until I heard those voices with Chris.
But the thing is that they like certain debunkers and myself expect, if something happens, that let's say something falls off over there, they expect us to have
Proof.
every possible thing covered.
Well, no,
before we conclude that it's odd. However, certain people won't have every single thing covered to say that it's
That doesn't make any
something
sense to me,
else.
though, because
yeah, but the problem
It works
is,
both ways.
The problem is, it does work both ways, but the problem is, which we can't do, is if we're filming a video, you got to remember we're filming it, and we've got to chop down all the footage of the 5 or 6 hours that we've been out there down to an hour, 40 minutes, however long our episodes are. We don't want to spend 15 minutes of that episode going, oh, this is why that's there, because he's here.
My favourite proof it.
So it's you don't want to, because also that could come across as fake.
Yeah, but
As
unless
well.
you catch
It's
it,
like-
you get.
And also it ruins the
targeted.
flow of it. It ruins the flow of the.
Yeah.
And like you said before, it's like, I remember you said before, you like, you said like something like you like it being continuous, meaning that you don't like to be like
continuity.
That's it, right? And that's our style. It's being.
Yeah, our continuity
It's
is
always having the camera on.
absolutely
Either we're say Marcus film Chris film Mark, and it will switch between the two, and you can see all the cameras.
Yeah, we make
That's
sure
what
of that.
we make sure of that. But
Our
we
framing,
don't want to be
our
swap.
framing is
Yeah.
crap now and again.
But
our continuity
yes,
is-
it's more like, like you said, this is why we do the deep dive episode, so you can more go onto that rather than put it in the episode. But it's all about, like, say for example, like in the episode where the EMF readers span off, you can't go and be like, well, no, it's not a wire because look, it's not the wind. because
Well, they
look.
did.
Yeah, we did, but we didn't. Did we actually put that in the episode, or did we do that?
No, yeah, it was all.
Oh, was it
Well,
all-
I left because of the people that were there were like skeptical, and they wanted to look into stuff. They were all. It was quite funny as well, with them all jumping down the stairs and stuff. So it all stayed in. So it was just humorous, you know, all going like this down the stairs, trying to get the
Oh,
vibration.
yeah.
It was-
It's just, we have everything, right? So this is a list of things we have. We have people say, I pushed it. We had someone say there was someone behind the banister pushing it.
My
We had
favourite one
someone
was the
saying
phone.
that my favourite is it's a sponge.
Well, the person's doing it.
There's another one. Someone
That was
said
my
that there's an air gun.
Oh yeah,
They
you've got an air gun.
Yeah, and like that. Yeah.
A silent air gun.
Yeah. No.
Well,
And do you know what?
They're morons.
Do you know what? Like, obviously, there was an individual out there that did like a breakdown of certain things in the video, and credit to, you know, the fact that he did say, well, I'm not the one saying that I completely debunked you, and you know, it's there's people in my chat which are doing this. But on the flip side, there was no like public video gone out saying, oh, do you know what, fair play to these guys, they've covered I may have been wrong on these points. There was no humble pie to be eaten,
Yeah.
No.
which I would have appreciated.
It's not just about the differences that we have, the reasons why we do it. People out there want to do it. So if they're skepticals, skepticals that were skeptics, I should say. Skeptical. I got skepticals on. It's like they're skeptics, and they want to deconstruct it like Mark does, and they can, and they go, "How the hell did that happen?" They got the same mindset as Mark. Or if they're believers like me, they go, "Hey, that's just amazing." Or Chris, or Billy, or Josh, or whatever. There are people out there that are like us, that are viewing what we do, so they can resonate with each of us individually, and that's what makes it good.
There's something I've started to notice as well, and
I'm
that's
using
like
long
certain
words.
new channels and that which like are clearly catering to try not to be scrutinized under the stigma, and you know, it's like they would start acting in ways or doing things in certain ways, and to a certain extent, you know, even I can be foul to this, because you know, people could suggest that speaking in lives and stuff could be me trying to what am I trying to say, Chris?
I think what Mark's trying to say is whenever he joins someone's life in a form of text, the way he can come across through text can be different to how he is verbally, because Mark is very
Black and white.
yeah, he's like Marmite, isn't he? So he calls himself. So the way he
Ugh, I hate Mark.
I love
the way he presents himself is factual. He likes to ask questions and he likes to know stuff. And so people think, oh, he's asking a lot of questions, so he's trying to get attention. That's not the
Not at
case.
all.
He genuinely is interested, and he likes to have a say on things, and he likes to have an opinion, and he likes to get involved. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but the way he can be misconstrued is an attention seeker, and that's not the case.
Just look at some of the questions I asked. I remember I was on someone's live the other day, and so there's a bit where he goes, okay, it's question time, and everyone was asking like normal, like basic questions, and then my question was, oh, if you had a time machine, where would you go and why? You know, it was like something. My questions are always deep and like some weird out there theory.
Well, we are going to have to wrap this up, right? So,
I'll get the paper.
is there,
Something.
final question, is there a way to fix the stigma?
Well, no, it's all down to the individual in question.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
if the person wants to, however you want to put yourself out there as an individual, if you're choosing to be a faker, then fuck it. Like Smug Pugpy, for example, I'm starting to find it actually humorous now. At least bloody put, oh yeah, this is a parody, and then that's fine. It's funny. But and then on the debunking side, like, if you're gonna turn around and say, you know, I'm happy to answer people's emails and talk to them and talk through things with people, then do that. Don't just ignore people. Don't just make a statement and then get angry at the statement that's come back, and then not talk, and then just, you know what I mean?
It's just a
There's-
God complex, isn't it?
Be human, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
agree. Yeah.
If you enjoyed this, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. If you have anything you would like to say, pop it in the comments.
Please don't have nightmares. Thank you.